Hey, what's going on, guys? There's been a few people having some issues with trying to get Windows 3.1 and DOSBox to work. Then there's been other people asking about sound, and then some video errors. And then in addition, I had a special request from a fellow named Tim that was commenting on one of my YouTube videos. I'm trying to get an old game called Mordor to work. And so I think Mordor is an awesome game. It was one of the reasons why I even made the videos initially to share with others in attempts to help people play the game who upgraded to 64-bit systems and things of that nature, and they're no longer able to play it on these newer operating systems. So I'm going to go kind of do a quick down and dirty again on the Windows 3.1, but at a much higher rate. So if you kind of caught up in the Windows 3.1 portion, just check out my other video. It's a little more in depth. I'm going to kind of speed through that. Once I do that, we'll move over to installing Mordor, and we'll look at some of the errors it has when it initially launches, and then we'll go through installing Soundblaster and then some video drivers in order to get a much better experience and to eliminate some of these errors on the startup. So with that, let's get started. So I'm going to start straight from the beginning. So we're going to download DOSBox here. Here's the URL. I'll also place all these URLs in the description as well. So for my particular operating system, I'm using Windows 10, so I'm going to download the Windows version of DOSBox. So I'm going to wait for this to load up here. Once that saves, we're going to open up said file. Yes, we're going to hit next. Now here on the destination of the folder, I'm going to put it directly into the C drive. As you've seen in some other videos, I find this to be much easier to mount and kind of navigate in DOSBox. So destination is going to be C drive DOSBox. We're going to install. Alright, then close. Now that we've had that done, I'm going to go into my files here. I'm going to go to DOSBox. Now once I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and set up a couple of files, folders I know I'm going to need for this little project. So I'm going to make one folder here called Windows 31. I'm going to make another folder, and we will name this one drivers, and then I will make another folder called programs. Then I will make another folder called S3. Alright, so I just made a folder drivers, programs, S3, Win31. Alright, so now we have DOSBox installed. Now we need to get Windows 3.1 installed on there. So we're going to come over here to my next link, which was in my previous video. Here's the URL right here. We are going to download this. We are going to save it. Complete here. Yeah, I'm going to come back one. I'm going to go ahead and I will extract all. And I'm going to extract this into my Windows 3.1 folder. Extract. Alright, very well. I'm going to close all this out now. Close this one. Alright, so now let me go ahead and restart DOSBox. So from here, we are going to mount C, DOSBox, change it over to C, change directory to Win31, and we are going to setup.exe. And then just like before, we're going to kind of breeze through this here. It's going to go through the process of installing all the files, so the kind of out-of-box experience. I'll probably fast forward this to the video because it's just a lot of the same stuff in the previous video. So just stand by. once you get this part, you can name it whatever you want to name it. It doesn't really matter. We will name ours Mordor. And continue. Continue. And then we wait some more. No printers to install at this time, so no printer attached. Install. Continue for the network. And I will skip the tutorial because I am not interested. Once that happens, we'll hit restart computer. Alrighty. Now that is complete, we will download the game that we want to play, which is Mordor. I do have the full version myself. I actually purchased it. I had a physical copy. I had an actual CD, so I have the full version. Those who do not have the full version, you can obtain the freeware, shareware, or whatever you want to call it, at this URL right here. I'll also put this in the description as well. In this shareware versions, you can only get down to dungeon level 3, although it's actually a pretty good starting point in the game, going dungeons 1 through 3. It actually takes you a lot longer to get to 3 and actually survive and clear dungeon 3 than you would think. There's like 16 dungeons in the entire game, so they're giving you about the first 20% of the game. By dungeon 3, once you finally clear that, I think you'll know if you really like this game enough. If you want to purchase it, it is still for sale. Physical copies, you can purchase it. The guy takes PayPal. I'll put his website in the description as well, so if you want to actually purchase the physical copy of the game, that'd be great. I'm sure he'd be appreciative, and it's just a real cool nostalgic piece to kind of like have on your bookshelf and all that good stuff. So with that said, once you're on this URL right here, we're going to come on down here and download this zip file. We're going to save that as well. Then of course we are going to extract all, and we are going to place this into a programs file. However, inside of our programs file, we need to make another folder just to keep things kind of clean. We're going to call this Mordor. Alright, so now in programs we have Mordor, and that is where we're going to save this file to. Alright, and we will extract. Now, those are all in there now. We're going to close this website. We're chopping them on down, guys. Alright, so now we're going to go back to our DOSBox. Rinse, repeat. Alright, now that we are here and we have our files in our program / Mordor file, we will go to our file manager. As such, programs, Mordor, setup exist, continue, okay. This is going to run through. It's pretty quick. It doesn't take a whole lot to get this game in. Yes, yes, okay. Limited version like I was saying before. That's complete. Close that out, and now we're going to open this up. So as soon as we open this up, you can see it says Mordor is a 256 color application and has detected you are running in a mode that does not support 256. Alright, so let's take a look at this picture right here. So I want to kind of see if there's any like big difference once we update all these drivers as to if it brings the game a little more to life. When I played this game, I was on an actual Windows 3.1 computer. I'm old enough to actually have a Windows 3.1 computer. I started on a Commodore 64, which some people ain't that old, but to other people they're like, dang, that guy's old. But in either case, I'm just going to be curious to kind of see if we can like notice a difference between the two. So I'm going to hit OK. Notice again it's a public beta version. Mordor only has 3 dungeons, like I said before. This is actually how I first started playing this game. It was on like one of those 1,000 games for Windows discs back in the day, and this public beta version was on that disc. And that's actually how I discovered and fell in love with this game. So they should bring those back, really. I mean, then I went to demo disc with like 10 games for the PlayStation. Now they don't give a shit. But anyways, so also error initializing FX. Some more about the pub thing. For more information and ordering, see about/ordering information section from the main menu. I wonder if this is actually still good. I'm gonna go here. Ordering info. I'm just curious. Wow, it's got a WAN number still. That is not the price anymore. By this $39.95. I just checked on it. It's like $18 now plus shipping and handling. Which, I mean, it's an old game, but I mean it's for the actual physical copy too. And when I purchased I already had the full version before, but I lost all the stuff to it and everything, so I actually purchased another one. It was like still wrapped in like plastic cellophane, so it's not like, you know, used stuff. Like the guy who has it's taking care of the stuff, and like it's in pristine condition. So I'm trying to look for the website. I'm not seeing on the top of my head, but in either case, I'll get that information to you. Okay. But as you see, when I load it into this screen right here, you don't hear any music right now. Typically, when you open this screen right here, you should be hearing the music. It's because we don't have any sound drives installed right now. So now we got our game installed. We see that's, you know, it's working, but we have a few errors. So now we're going to start to address those errors. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of DOSBox, and then we are going to begin the process of doing our sound drivers. So I found this website here. I think this is actually the original website I used the first time I personally set up Soundblaster. And so in order to get the file, it's right here. Go to this URL right here on the top. It's a zip file right here. Save the file. We'll open that up as such, just as we've done before. We are going to extract all, and I'm going to place this into my drivers folder. Select that folder there, extract it. Alright, and that's there. Now, if you want to use these step-by-steps here, I mean, it's a great how-to guide. Like, if you follow this, you can't go wrong. The only variation that I do, which it actually does tell you, is that so when this defaults, it defaults at a 5 and 5. So they want you to change this 5 to a 7. And I kind of did in reverse. So I went into the DOSBox options and I changed the settings to match this default. So your DOSBox is initially defaulted to 7. I went to the configurations and changed that to 5. Whereas this is telling you to do the opposite. It's telling you to change this to 7 because DOSBox is 7. I did it this way and it's working. So I'm going to show you how I did it because I know this way works. I don't know if that way does because I haven't attempted it. Alright, so before we start installing our sound drivers, we are going to adjust our DOSBox configuration. So in order to do that, we will come on over to DOSBox. Then we will look for DOSBox options, which is here. We will scroll down here into the Soundblaster configuration. Right here, SBlaster, IRQ equals 7. We are going to change that to a 5. IRQ equals 5. Go to File, save it as that. Now we are going to close it. We already have our drivers in here. So now we can get rid of this link because we are done with that. So we are going to go back to our DOSBox, and then I bet you guys can't guess what I'm going to type. DOSBox. Change directory to drivers, and then we are going to install.exe. And now it is going to begin that process. Let this run through. This takes actually a little bit of time, actually. You just hit enter at that screen. I want to say this actually took longer than installing actually Windows did. Maybe I just looked at it longer. I don't know. So we're going to go full installation, hit enter again. Alright, now look, this is important. If you don't do this next step here, you're going to get messed up. So don't just hit enter at this screen. See, it says proceed using settings shown. We're going to come down, Microsoft Windows 3.1 path, there's none specified. So highlight that, hit enter. Then it's going to default to Windows, hit enter again. Now that field is populated. Now we can proceed using the settings shown. And so this was the section I was talking about before. You see how this defaults to 5 right here, and that step by step it was saying rather than change your DOSBox configurations, they were telling you just to go to 7 here. I mean, that could work. If you want to give it a shot, go ahead. This is just what I did last time, so I did it again this time, and it worked again this time. So that's alright. This portion here, you're just going to hit enter on the backup for the files. Yeah, that definitely took significantly longer than actually installing Windows. That's pretty crazy how drivers take longer than the entire operating system, but I guess that's just technology progressing. So, now that's completely finished. We're actually going to hit F10 to reboot, which should shut DOSBox down completely, as it just did. So now we're going to load Windows back up again. Let's see if those wonderful sound drivers took effect and everything went smooth. Oh man, my typing is terrible, guys. We should actually hear some Windows noise as soon as we get into this if everything went the way it should have. And we did. Now, if you get in here and you just keep hearing like ding, 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 something went terribly wrong. And more than likely what happened is you either did not change your DOSBox configurations to 5, or during the install you didn't change the IRQ to 7. So that's what happened. So congratulations to those who follow my instructions. You're not being very annoyed right now, because I did that before and it is rather annoying. But anyway, so here's all our audio software sound mixers. Close that out. So now let's go with Mordor 1.1 again. Let's see if we got some sound going and if that FX error is still there. So we still got a 256 color error, but if you notice, there was no sorry about that. So clearly the sound is working, music is working, and we did not get no FX initialization error there. So that's one that's taken care of. So we still got that 256 color, and of course this doesn't look all that great. It's the plain Jane version of Windows. So now we will put our video drivers in and see if we can't get this working even better than what it is now. So we are at this URL here. As such, we are going to get these S3 drivers right here, video drivers S3. So just like before, we're going to download those. We're going to open it. Go to downloads. We will extract all. Maybe. Oh, it's right here. We will browse and we will put this in our S3 folder here. Select folder, extract all those in there. Now we're going to do this one a little differently. So now we're actually going to install these while inside of DOSBox, well in Windows. So let's see here, DOSBox. There you go. Alright, I'm back in. So, nice ding. Okay, you're working. Right here. So, we're going to go to Windows Setup. We are going to go to Options, change System Settings. It's default to VGA. Now, look, be very careful, because if you select something, you just pick a random setting, it's going to change your boot configuration to what display it defaults to. And so, if you change this in a way I don't tell you to change it, and Windows won't start back up again, which you can fix. You just got to go into the system INI file and then physically change display drv equals whatever it says back to vga.drv, and you'll be good again. But just don't do it. So anyways, drop down that display, come on down. You're going to put other display requires this from OEM. And then we are going to change this directory to the CS3 folder. Hit OK. And then here we have all this stuff here. So I'm going to come down. We are going to go right here. Let's do this one. Here. OK. Restart Windows. So you can already see it looks a little different now. We got a bigger area space here. And of course, if you want to go full screen at any time inside of DOSBox, for those who don't know, if you hold the Alt button and press the Enter key, it will go full screen. I don't know if you guys can see this right now. I'll find out later, I guess, when I'm messing with my video. I know when I originally did it didn't, so maybe this OBS might be better than the terrible free software I was using back in the day. So I'm going to Alt-tab it back right now just to make sure you can actually see what's going on. So let me get that back. So now that's back up. So we've installed our sound drivers, video drivers, so we're going to try to run this again. And I think it does look a little better. I don't know. What do you guys think? Ooh. Hold on. Hold on. Ooh. Let's just, right now, let's just kill. Let's just kill it. The sound is working perfect right now. So we are just going to kill that sound. But I think it might look a little bit better. But then again, it's Windows 3.1. It's only going to look so good. But I think it looks better, though. Let me make a quick guy here. Just to get in the game, and no password, yes, run test. I mean, this is a kind of a text. No, I mean, that looks a little better there. This little door icon up here, I think it's a little cleaner. But yeah, so that's pretty much the down and dirty on all that. So hopefully if you follow that step by step, you run into no errors or issues whatsoever. If you do, feel free to leave a comment, send me a message, and if I have the answers, I'll try to help you out. I try to be responsive. Sometimes, you know, life gets crazy. It might take me a couple of days, but eventually I'll get back to you. And if I can't figure it out, well, you know, hopefully somebody else in the comment section sees your cries and has pity on you and does you the favor of helping you instead of me. So that's all I really got, guys. So if you got any other suggestions, things you need help with or something like that, like I said, just give me a shout, and I'll see what I can make happen. All right, take care.